dark orange sheets, and Ma Kaladra has picked up 48 of the light pink sheets.
Wow. I always wonder what's up with Ma Virija and Ma Kaladra. Whenever it comes to third eye, they do some third eye telepathy or something within themselves. I think every time they come in sync somehow in some way or the other. So yes, is leading by one sheet that she picked up, except extra one sheet that she picked up, and that is great. Just 49 and 48, and both of them have been able to do this so quickly in the time that has been given to them, and able to pick this up amidst all the conversations that happened, all the things went on in the site, and that was wonderful. I just commented telling you need to lose it. Yes, mom, if you just practice this, just if your microbiome, basically the gut bacteria which is sitting in your gut, if that is balanced, automatically the weight losses start happening. And once you start having that energy, the metabolism rate of your body will also increase. Right now, both are becoming like a vicious circle. Like this is reducing, then you're becoming, you're starting to feel like more laziness coming inside you. So that is also reducing. You feel very tired. First, the tiredness need to go, and that energy balance automatically happen. When that happens, the metabolism will go high. Even if you eat what you used to eat like that normal way, you will start seeing that body starts reducing the weight. So, my river grass, ma Kiven Shen, ma Hihiha, our Paramashingoham translator, she was here and she picked up the colors for Ma Virija and Ma Kaladara, and there you go. So, ma Hihiha, you can share with us. Both the Valasans have picked up the color you chose correctly, and they have picked up and 48 and 49 each. So they have done a wonderful job. Thank you so much to all the viewers. There are so many hearts for both of you, Ma Virija and Ma Kaladara. And it was a wonderful demonstration. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Manitya Yoga Pranananda. And we thank all the viewers and everybody who took a part in this manifestation. And we will be, each of you will be receiving these extraordinary Shaktis today at the end of the program. So stay tuned for the further preparation. Now we are going to be entering into the next segment after a short break. Thank you. Thank you.
I welcome all of you, the whole world, to come and celebrate, enjoy not only the enlightenment ecosystem, the beauty of how it is getting revived. Be an insider for this great revival process. If you are an insider even for a startup company, you will understand not only the result of the company, even that being an insider is such a joy. Being an insider when it was happening is something extraordinary. So, I welcome all of you to come and be part of an insider of this revival of Kailasa, the enlightenment ecosystem, sovereign order of Kailasa, Kailasa nation itself. I request and welcome, invite all of you to become E-Kailasian. Get your free passport and make billions receive this free passport. What I mean by the word E-Kailasa, listen intensely. enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely.
Yes.
Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself.
Segment. I hope all of you had a great time just witnessing the amazing possibility that human beings can express just by the initiation of the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasaninana, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Parashakti. Now, let us enter into the next segment. Today, we're going to manifest the state, space, powers, being, and Kailasa of superconsciousness and Kailasa of Devi Parashakti. Now, who is Devi Parashakti? The next segment, we're going to learn about who is Devi Parashakti and what are Akashic Records. Akashic records are the records created by space. Whatever has happened, in time, there is a file for it. Nothing can be destroyed. Swamiji beautifully says that please understand, none of your action, thoughts, emotions, anything that you have, nothing can be destroyed. Everything is stored beautifully in cosmic archives, and we're going to access these cosmic archives. Swamiji is going to reveal the solutions for each and every person through the cosmic archives. Akashic records are the there is a small internet glitch. Yes. Akashic records are the verbal, visual, 5-dimensional document. Whatever is happening in the cosmos, everything is getting recorded in Akashic records. All the information that you've collected from the space, in your DNA, everything can be accessed through the Akashic records. Just understand, and just by accessing these Akashic records from cosmic archives, we can manifest whatever we want as a reality. And we don't need to waste our time into finding out things which doesn't really reflect what we need to. Yes. So, what is Akashic reading? Akashic reading is not a prediction. It is a reading from cosmic archives itself. There is no such thing as past, present, and future. Beyond space, creation and destruction happens simultaneously. In the dimension of time starts the past, present, and future. But in Akashic records, there is no such thing as past, present, and future. That is why what you call as happened, happening, yet to happen are all clearly recorded in Akashic records. What is Akashic reading? Nobody has a right to comment on these readings. That is what Swamiji beautifully says. Nobody has a right to manipulate these readings. Nobody has a right to interpret or comment these readings. They are complete unto themselves because they are universal facts that are being recorded in cosmic archives. So there is nobody who can comment, who can interpret or manipulate these readings. And for anybody to live in tune with the cosmos, the Jivan Mukti, which is the enlightenment, does not need any special practice other than just listening to these great readings again and again. So if you see in all these sessions that is happening, many times, almost for every other reading, the Nijavatara, the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanitanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Parameshivam, has been beautifully spelling out the cosmic truths. Almost for every other person, it is not just providing the solutions from cosmic archives, but also providing the universal truths which is applicable to every single person who's listening to it. For example, yesterday's reading, we heard about Siddhanta, Saiva Siddhanta, and many other concepts that is very much related to Big Bang, and what is mind to us, and how we can overcome the issues of fear. There are so many solutions that are being revealed through this cosmic from the cosmic archives that the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanitanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Parameshivam, has been revealing to all the viewers today. Now, when you listen to these great readings, naturally your negative logic is penetrated, broken, and these truths settle in your inner space and they make you to live enlightenment. I just wanted to share a brief incident that has happened. One of the doctors had requested blessings for her family, and the Devi Parashakti has revealed beautiful Akashic readings from the cosmic archives to her. And in that reading, Devi Parashakti specifically mentioned about how very beautiful way how Devi Parashakti revealed the life happens, the creation and destruction happens continuously. So there is no need for us to hold to the insecurity. So when Parashakti is revealing these cosmic truths, it is not just for the doctor who is asked for the blessing, but it is for the whole of the humanity, whoever is suffering from insecurities and fear, especially during this pandemic times, how we can hold ourselves very strongly, how we can ground ourselves strongly to the superconscious truths. Next, only an avatar can decode the Akashic readings. As avatar of Paramashiva, Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has graced the humanity with the blessings and darshan in the form of Devi Parashakti. She is revealing the answers to the questions, to the yearning of the seekers as solutions, breakthroughs, and liberating humanity from pain and suffering. Any answer given by Devi Parashakti is just not an answer, but a karmic breakthrough for the receiver. So we had an opportunity to speak to the same doctor who had posted this question and how she felt after receiving this blessing from the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, manifesting the state space powers of Devi Parashakti. She mentioned that it was a breakthrough for her. It was a cognition breakthrough for her. So every single person, it is not just the story of one doctor who posted the question, but the story of every single viewer, every single one of us, whoever is watching, witnessing this happening, witnessing this rare happening of Devi Parashakti herself revealing to the whole cosmos, to the whole of the humanity. It is just not an answer. It is actually a karmic breakthrough for all of us. Now, the scriptural reference to manifest the powers of Akashic reading, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, looking at the spotless, infinite etheric space, the Akasha beyond the sky and clouds, one should fix one's gaze without blinking, continuously, and make the body and inner space steady and motionless. In the very moment, O Devi, one attains the nature and powers of infinite space, the Bhairava. And these are all the Sakshi Brahmanas, the experiences and results of the extraordinary manifestation happening through the initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And Apta Pramana, with the reference of the powers of Akashic reading, where in the Hindu Purana Mahabharata narrates the story of the great sage Maitreya, who reveals the secrets to Vidura, the story of his birth in human form, and reasons of all his suffering. Sage Maitreya accessed the Akashic records and told Vidura that he was just not an ordinary man. He was in fact the incarnation of Yamaraja. Devi Parashakti revealed the, what is the, how one of the disciples, Tripura, how she was connected to Paramashiva. So like that, for each and every disciple, there is a record of the source of their happening, which many of the blessed beings are, they are getting, it is getting revealed for many of the blessed beings through these Akashic records. And he was to play the part of so-called Sudra for hundreds of years, being cursed by Banduka Muni. Atma Pramana, the accounts of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Parameshwaram's life that time-tested and authenticated the science. In Swamiji's own words, he says that reading Akashic records is just opening the screen and it instantly appear. Originally, the Akashic records appears in Sanskrit, then it gets translated into English during the process of seeing and the seeing and cognizing. That is why most of the English words which are used, the same words are getting repeated in the Akashic records. Because the seer, during the process of seeing, translating the same, because the seer is the person who's talking to you regularly in English, and he uses the same words to cognize and translate the same during the process of seeing itself. But now you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the Nijavatara, manifesting the Devi Parashakti, she's actually revealing all these cosmic archives not from the vernacular Tamil, but the ancient language that the Paramashiva and Parashakti has used. It is not Tamil. So this was revealed by Devi Parashakti herself in one of the Akashic readings recently. Now, what are the benefits of Akashic records? All the information you collected from all of your births is in your DNA. You can access some of them just to understand and not to waste the time doing the same actions again and again. Accessing the DNA code, reading the Akashic records will be useful for you to be liberated from your default future, bringing an end to the binding cognitions, known and unknown, suffering, leading you to the experience enlightenment. Only an avatar can alter the Akashic readings. The initiated Balasans can view the Akashic records. However, only an avatar can alter, edit, upgrade, and change the Akashic records. During the darshan and dikshas, Swamiji blesses and upgrades the Akashic records as per the prayer of the devotee. And next is, what can you really ask in the Akashic reading? The most accurate and unbiased answer to any question about your life, destiny, purpose, or any everyday part of your life. You can see many people asking about their purpose of life. They want to manifest health, wealth, relationships, how they can manifest health and come out of COVID situation. There are so many personal questions that is being asked. So you can ask any of those, or be spiritually healed of physical and emotional problems with just a look or a word. Understand the reasons behind your life happenings, receive blessings to fulfill your right desires. Get the clarity to redesign your future. This comes to the end of this section of knowing about what are Akashic readings, because this gives a clear understanding about what can we expect in today's event. Because and how significant each and every word that is being revealed by Nijavatara, manifesting the Devi Parashakti, the divine cosmic feminine self. The next segment is going to be who is Devi Parashakti. Before we go to the next segment, I request the NTV operator to please play and remove, and we're going to have a short break before we enter into the next section.
I welcome all of you, the whole world, to come and celebrate, enjoy not only the enlightenment ecosystem, the beauty of how it is getting revived. Be an insider for this great revival process. If you are an insider even for a startup company, you will understand not only the result of the company, even that being an insider is such a joy. Being an insider when it was happening is something extraordinary. So, I welcome all of you to come and be part of an insider of this revival of Kailasa, the enlightenment ecosystem, sovereign order of Kailasa, Kailasa nation itself. I request and welcome, invite all of you to become e-Kailasian. Get your free e-passport and make billions receive this free e-passport.
Even a malignous man, by beginning in the company of Satsanga, makes even the impossible as possible in this world. E-Kailasa is the message from Paramashiva to have superconscious breakthrough. Enlightenment, power manifestation, Paramashiva, everything served to you without you even moving out of your couch. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. We can multiply the quality and quantity of your life. The most ancient, best way of life and best kept sacred secrets all these years handed over only from guru to disciple, guru to disciple, guru to disciple. Secrets kept inside the Siddha Paramparas, Siddha tradition. Enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Whole world should become e-Kailasians.
Yes. Welcome back, dear viewers. The next segment that we are going to be leading on to is who is Devi Parashakti, the divine feminine consciousness. We will first start with the Dhyana Shloka, which describes the very aspect, of divine feminine consciousness. Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yati Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitum न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि अतस्त्वाम् आराध्यां हरिहर विरिञ्जादिभिरपि प्रणत्वं स्तोत्रं वा कथमकृत पुण्यः प्रभवति. Lord Shiva only becomes able to do the creation in this world along with Shakti. Without her, even an inch he cannot move. So how can one who does not do good deeds or one who does not sing your praise become adequate to worship you, O goddess mind, who is worshipped by the Trinity? The next Dhyana Shloka. Bhavani tvam dasimai vitara drishtim sakarunam iti stottum vanchan kadhyati bhavani tvam itiyaha tadaivatvam tasmai disasi nija sayuchya padavim mukunda brahmendra sputa makuta nirajita padam. If anyone who has wish in his mind to pray, please shower on me a part of your merciful look. Even before he says, you Bhavani, you are my goddess, would give to him the water falling from the crowns of Vishnu, Rudra and Brahma at your feet and grant him eternal life in your world. Devi Parashakti, the ultimate pure feminine consciousness. All great things start from the mother. Bhuvaneshwari is the cosmic mother, the cosmic womb from which billions and billions of universes come out and go in. Source where the Big Bang and the black holes go on. Parashakti is the source of all of us. We all came from Parashakti, stay in Parashakti, go back to Parashakti. We are all literally waves in the ocean called Parashakti. Parashakti is the source Shakti, the source energy, the source power from which all of us came, in which all of us are even now, in which all of us are going to merge. It is like a wave. Starts from the ocean, stays in the ocean, rises in the ocean, falls into the ocean. We all start from Parashakti, stay in Parashakti, rise in Parashakti, and drop and merge back in Parashakti. Parashakti is the main deity. Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
Parashakti, she is the main deity of the sacred feminine consciousness and the divine consort of Bhagavan Paramashiva, who is the Lord of Supreme Consciousness. Parashakti is the embodiment of Dhyaga. Now, why is divine feminine consciousness is unique to Hinduism?
Let us now see about the divine feminine consciousness. The unique contribution to the spiritual consciousness from the Vedic tradition is the sacred feminine worship. Even if everything, the next slide please, even if everything from what the Vedic tradition gave is lost, just this one thing, the sacred feminine tradition is there, then the whole thing can be revived because that is the seed. Now Hinduism has at least 10,000 sampradayas. If all sampradayas are lost for some reason, only this one sampradaya, the Devi worship remains. The whole thing can be brought back because the whole thing is centered on this one, the mother worship. The mother worship carries the blueprint, the hologram of the whole Vedic tradition.
The sacred feminine worship is a hologram of the Vedic tradition. There is no enlightened being on the planet Earth without worshipping the sacred feminine, including Sanjeev. I'm basically a Shakta. I myself followed Devi worship from the beginning. If you see my biography and all the deities that I carved, the darshans that I had, all the mother-based, everything is Devi-based.
Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a great avatar who lived from 1836 to 1886, says, Shiva is Brahman, but Devi has the key to reach that Brahman. Unless she opens the key, nobody can reach.
Very beautifully, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he says that, he describes a house scene. Basically, he says, even though husband is the owner, the key to the house will be on the hip of the mother. So either you have to fall at the feet of the mother, surrender to her, or the small sons who can access the hip, who can touch that place and remove the key. So nobody else can touch. So either you surrender to the mother herself, or the people who are closer to mother to reach. So basically you surrender to the divine Parashakti, or people who can reach you, who can help you to reach Parashakti, who is none other than the Guru.
Now let us understand how Paramashiva and Devi Parashakti have happened again and again and again. Performing various different leelas, performing the divine play, the divine acts, the divine leelas, miracles in the lives of their devotees and disciples. The divine cosmic beings are real. They manifest from Kailasa, the enlightened time-space zone, through deities and through incarnations. In Madurai, Paramashiva as Bhagavan Sundareshwara and Parashakti as Devi Meenakshi came down from Kailasa and established the greatest enlightenment ecosystem. In Madurai, Bhagavan Paramashiva graced the people of Madurai with various miracles, and he stays in a frequency where he can immediately assume the human body and relates with you, answers you, responds to you, and raises you. This whole Shiva Leela Ranava in Madurai beautifully Paramashiva reveals in every time where he assumes the form to manifest certain power and grace the devotee, he exemplifies the expression of certain secret act that the humanity can benefit from.
Now, let us see this Viragu Vitra Padalam coming down, where Paramashiva himself came down and he was selling the firewood just for protecting the Pandya kingdom. Once there was a very arrogant singer, Hemanatha Bhagavatar. He was so talented in singing that nobody can bet him. So he became very egoistic and arrogant, and he goes to different kingdoms and conquers those kingdoms by challenging them. Right? And he challenges anybody who can sing in this country and beat me, then I'll surrender all the knowledge and I'll be his slave. If nobody can beat me, then the kingdom should be my slave. So he directly challenges the kingdom. Every kingdom he travels, he challenges that anybody, if they beat him in this competition of singing, then he'll become their slave. And if he beats them, then the kingdom, the entire kingdom should be his slave. So in this way, he had conquered so many kingdoms and cities. And then now he goes to Madurai. And in Madurai, he becomes so egoistic, he challenges the Pandya kingdom itself. And if he has challenged the Pandya court, he would not have had any problem. But he challenged the Pandya kingdom. He doesn't know that the Pandya kingdom is run by Lord Soma Sundareshwara, Paramashiva himself. So Sundareshwara may be sitting up far away, but he is the one who is actually running the kingdom. So this person, this Hemanatha Bhagavatar, he goes and challenges the Pandya kingdom itself, indirectly challenging Lord Soma Sundareshwara himself.
And Hemanatha Bhagavatar, he goes and challenges. He throws a challenge. Is there anyone who can sing better than me? And he throws the usual challenge that if somebody sings better than him, he will become the slave of that person. But if nobody sings better than him, then the whole kingdom should become his slave. And nothing can be done when someone comes and challenges the court. Now it is a question of the pride of the country and the pride of the court. So simply the king accepted the challenge.
Now all the court poets ran away within 2 hours. It was fixed that the next day morning, the competition will be held. That evening itself, all the poets have disappeared because all of them were afraid of this Hemanatha Bhagavatar singing. See, if they lose the competition, it is not just them. The whole kingdom is going to be lost. So they were so afraid and they did not take up the competition. They just felt that they're going to fail and they simply ran away. Now, finally, the court poet Banabhadran was forced to face this Hemanatha Bhagavatar. Now, next day, the Banabhadran was so shaken because he was so sure that he will lose the game. The whole kingdom will be serving the Hemanatha Bhagavatar and the whole kingdom will blame him for the loss.
So he runs to Sundareshwara. Well, in Madurai, whenever you face any difficulty, any issue, anywhere where you don't know how to handle life, everybody chooses only one solution. They run to Devi Meenakshi and Lord Sundareshwara. So he runs to Sundareshwara, Mahadeva, who please protect. What do I do? If Hemanatha Bhagavatar wins, losing the kingdom. Sundareshwara blesses him. And then once again, he assumes the form of a firewood seller. Lord Sundareshwara is a firewood seller with this Tara. Tara is like a beautiful. Next slide.
Now, this Ektara is actually a one-stringed instrument which these tribal people used to entertain themselves, and few other people who would simply gather around them. The small vendor who sells firewood or some honey, things they get from the forest, they come with the Ektara instrument and sell those things in the market. So they basically use this Ektara instrument to gather people around them so they can do their small petty businesses. So Mahadeva actually comes down as the firewood seller. The Paramashiva comes down, takes the body, and he comes as a firewood seller, having the firewood on his head and Ektara in his hand. Goes around the Madurai city in his bare feet, selling the firewood, blessing the whole city of Madurai and Pandya kingdom. Please understand, it is the beautiful gift that Mahadeva, Paramashiva himself is gracing for the devotion that Banapatra, who is a Shaivite devotee, who is praying to Paramashiva himself to save him. And he is praying that the kingdom should not be lost. So for his devotion, Paramashiva himself assumes the body of a firewood seller, having Ektara in his hand and in a bare feet. He is actually walking around the Madurai, selling the firewood around the Pandya kingdom.
Now that night, Mahadeva, Paramashiva, he goes and sleeps exactly outside the house of Hemanatha Bhagavatar and gives a demonstration where he stops nature just by his will, by his very song, by his very beautiful music, and moves the nature as he wants by his will, by his song, and moves the nature as he wants by his will, by his song. So he moves, stops, moves, he just plays with the nature by his song. Hemanatha Bhagavatar was completely spellbound and wonderstruck by the melodious voice of this firewood seller's singing. And then the Lord introduces himself to Hemanatha Bhagavatar as a failed student. This Hemanatha Bhagavatar who was sleeping inside, hears somebody singing such a beautiful song in complete tune with the entire cosmos. So he gets shocked. He runs outside. He is unable to sleep. He's like, who's singing the song? Who's singing the song? And he runs outside and sees this firewood seller, Mahadeva himself, sitting outside his house and singing. He asks, who are you? Who taught you this? He said, what are you telling? I am a failed student of the court poet Banabhadra, and I am not even his proper student. I am such a failed student of him. He says, I don't at all sing well. And so then what happened is, this Hemanatha Bhagavatar gets a shock. He was like, what? You are a failed student and he is going to face the Banabhadra, the court poet, next morning in the court. And he is now witnessing the demonstration of amazing singing by a failed student of Banabhadra. So Hemanatha Bhagavatar thinks, if the failed student himself is so talented, then how will the student's guru Banabhadra be? Better let me disappear from here. So now Hemanatha Bhagavatar is so sure his whole life to the court poet in the Pandya kingdom. He was so shaken. Without being there to face the challenge, that night itself he sends a letter to the Pandya king that he lost the game and he runs away overnight.
And in this way, the most compassionate Sundareshwara, by his divine play, protected the Pandya kingdom and Madurai. It is the devotion of Banabhadra. When you surrender to Paramashiva, he is the most compassionate being. He just lives yours. And that is what we have seen. Paramashiva came down in the form of Sundareshwara. Again and again, he saved and he graced the devotees for their prayers.
Paramashiva's and Devi Parashakti's love for Madurai. Never they forsake Madurai. Even now, anybody in Madurai calls for Devi Sundareshwara, Devi Meenakshi or Bhagavan Sundareshwara, they are there. They physically appear and they protect. And now, not just appear once, they have appeared in the Nija Avatara as Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, to protect not just Madurai, to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, to protect the enlightenment ecosystem, to protect the enlightened civilizational nation that Paramashiva and Parashakti established in Madurai. So Paramashiva, he always tests the strength and the will persistence of the devotees. Paramashiva tests only the tyaga of the real devotee. Before you connect a house or a gadget with electricity, you check the capacity with the wire to see if the medium is capable of transmitting this huge electricity. Else, it will get burnt. So before Paramashiva transmit powers, he tests the capacity of Tyaga, because only then you will be able to receive it. The core principles of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Tyaga, Vairagya and Shakti, are demonstrated by the 63 Nayanmars of Shaivism. Paramashiva came down and graced the life of Nayanmars and liberated them with living enlightenment.
The next, we're going to see the story of Kannappa Nayanar. So before we listen to the story of Kannappa Nayanar, where Paramashiva himself tested the Tyaga and then graced him with the living enlightenment, we're going to have a small break. So I request the NTV operator to play the promo, and before we get back to the next segment.
I welcome all of you, the whole world, to come and celebrate, enjoy not only the enlightenment ecosystem, the beauty of how it is getting revived. Be an insider for this great revival process. If you are an insider even for a startup company, you will understand not only the result of the company, even that being an insider is such a joy. Being an insider when it was happening is something extraordinary. So,
yes. Now, let us see the story of Kannappa Nayanar. There was a great hunter, Kannappa, in a forest, who lived a real, complete physical life. He was a very active hunter. He was living purely in his senses. He was completely centered on senses, and a very simple-hearted person. When he smiles, he really is happy. When he is angry, he is very angry. So a very simple hunter who is on his senses and living his complete, real physical life.
One day, Kannappa, he saw a small linga under a tree in the forest. The moment he saw the linga, he had such love coming out of his body. He instantly, it was literally like a love at first sight. Immediately know the word devotee. He just became so attached to it. He had so much of love for the Shivalinga. So he immediately wanted to start taking care of the linga as he feels, as he knows. He started to come and do the puja every day and does the puja as he wants, as he pleases. So for the priest, it was a routine. But for Kannappa, the hunter, it was life. Every day, He takes food, water, everything, puts in front of Paramashiva Linga, cleans that murti, puts some flowers, does puja, and goes back.
Next day, when the priest comes and says there is meat in front of the deity. At one point in time, the priest comes to the Shivalinga, and after priest goes, the Kannapar will come and he will take care of the Shivalinga. So they didn't meet each other. So the next day, when the priest comes and says there is a meat in front of the deity, which was off. So the priest was shocked. This is such a disrespect to the deity. Hence, the priest threw everything and cleans everything. This was happening for days, okay, because they don't meet each other, and the priest is always clueless. Who is the one who's coming and feeding meat to Paramashiva? And one day the priest thought, what is this? What is really happening? Because he is cleaning the place time and again, and every day somebody is coming and offering meat to Paramashiva, which is completely not acceptable. And in the other hand, having all the things that he needs for the puja, his kind of worship, whether it is flowers, when it is flowers, it is the forest flowers that he plucked. He did not have place to keep, so he puts all the forest flowers on his head. Please understand, he is keeping the flowers on his head that is going to be offered to Paramashiva. And there was no vessel to carry the water, hence he fills the water in his mouth. That is how he knows to worship Paramashiva. He's carrying the flowers on his head that is going to be adorned on Paramashiva, and he's carrying the water in his mouth that is going to be offered as an abhishekam to Paramashiva. He comes straight forward to the linga and spats the water and cleans the linga with a cloth.
He wipes the Shivalinga.
Please understand, he's a simple guy, and this is how he relates to Paramashiva.
He wipes the Shivalinga, puts all the flowers, and for Nivedyam, he will fry the meat and further checks the meat by chewing to see whether it tastes nice or not. If it tastes nice, the tasty parts he will pick it up and keep it separately for offering to Paramashiva. And the priest sees the whole scene from behind with utter shock.
Suddenly, the priest witnessed a very strange scene. From the eyes of Paramashiva, from the eyes of the Shivalinga, blood starts pouring. The blood started coming from the eyes, and the priest had a fear stroke because he has never seen Shivalinga crying, and that too blood coming from the eyes of Paramashiva. He was completely shaken. He thought Paramashiva is angry with this kind of worship because Kannappa is spatting the water on Shivalinga, and he's cooking meat and offering it to Paramashiva. He's offering the flowers that he's having on his head. So priest is really thinking that Paramashiva is very angry with the worship that Kannappa is doing to Paramashiva, and therefore the blood is coming from his eyes. With that kind of worship which was done by Kannappa, it is completely unacceptable, and priest is really thinking that it is Kannappa who has caused Paramashiva to cry, that too with the blood.
So the priest is thinking that is why the blood is coming from the eyes. Kannappa was a devoted person. He couldn't tolerate the blood in his father's eyes. He ran here and there. He brought some herbs. He tried to do some treatment. Nothing was working. The blood continued to flow. He decided just to remove his own eyes and fix it. He took an arrow, removed his own eyes and fixed it.
After he fixed his eyes, please understand, Kannappa was so devoted that he actually took his eyes and gave those eyes to Paramashiva. He didn't feel Paramashiva as a deity, it is a stone. No, Paramashiva is a living person. He was so attached to deity, to Shivalinga, that he actually took his eyes and fixed it. After he fixed the eyes, the blood stopped coming from one eye. Then the other eye started bleeding. Kannappa did not think, what will he do without the second eye? He straight away decided to remove the other eye and replace it.
eyes himself to Paramashiva. From that day, he was known as Appa, means the father of Paramashiva, Kannappa. So not only he did not lose his two eyes, he got Paramashiva as his own son and Kailaya Padani. One of the best stories to bring out the Tyaga dimension of Kannappa, how Paramashiva played this Leela just to bring out the love Kannappa had on Paramashiva. Not just few thousand years ago in Madurai, or not just few hundreds of years ago in Kannappa Nayanar's life, even till today, even in this yuga, even at this time, even on this day, Devi Parashakti continues to perform her miracles in the lives of many, many, many hundreds and thousands and millions of devotees worldwide. Every day, Parashakti enlightened time-space zone, using the very physical embodied form, the Nija Avatara of Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, expresses to humanity, blesses people with health, wealth, enlightenment, showers humanity, and removes our suffering, blessing us all with a beautiful, blissful, happy life. Today, we are now going to enter into the next segment, where the devotees, the disciples, the followers of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism are here to share their miraculous experiences with Devi Parashakti, manifesting through the Nijavatara of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. After a short break.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously.
Now we heard beautiful sharings and stories of what happened like few hundred years before, the Leelas that Paramashiva did in the lives of the great Nayanas. Now, we Leelas that Paramashiva and Parashakti themselves have come down to perform in the lives of their devotees. All those who pray, innocent prayers getting answered immediately. The Paramashiva and Parashakti themselves coming in the Nija Avatara as a supreme pontiff of Hinduism. Swamiji attends to everybody Whoever chants the Mahavakya even once out of that innocent love, the pure devotion, right from attaining to the most basic things, wanting to manifest some small things, to manifesting enlightenment itself. Let us now hear some leelas that we experience in our lives with the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, the very embodiment of Parameshwara and Parashakti. Joining with us today, first is Ma Kansita Galaja, who is here.
Nityanandamma,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm fine, really happy and honored to be here today.
So happy to have you today, Mom. Do you want to give a brief introduction about yourself?
Yes, I live currently in the UK. Where I came from.
Ma, looks like your audio is going a little bit in and out, Ma. Would you be able to talk a little bit more louder?
Sure. Any better?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Mom.
Right. So I've known Swamiji since 2017. I saw him on Facebook, scrolling on Facebook, and immediately I was drawn and I felt like I need to know more about this. And when he said the word consciousness, completely had me, because I said, oh my God, this is exactly what I have in me. It's so much resonating with what I've got inside and I've been looking for. And from there, he was really, I remember that then a few weeks after there was a workshop in London, and then the World Tour came, and then without even knowing, I was in India, like after a couple of months in December, I went to India and Swamiji initiated me, December 2017. And it's been an amazing journey of transformation from since then, but the feeling was I found what I was looking for, a profound feeling of peace. And belonging. And it was on the 30th of April because I can't remember what I asked for, something about my space or my family, and I remember thinking, oh my God, she can see straight through my soul. She knows what I want, and she's blessing me with even more than I can imagine. It was a huge feeling of I'm loved. And I'm seen, I'm loved, and I've been feeling so much opening and blessing since then. Reassurance that she knows our heart, that we don't even have to say anything.
Sorry, just give us a moment. There's a small technical glitch, no?
Sure.
Yes, we're back now. You can go ahead. Can you please sharing?
Yes. So I remember having an intense desire of being mentioned, acknowledged, and I had a huge desire that day. And I remember also peace about it. So this desire, I wrote my message and I just left it. And then not even 10 minutes after, she mentioned my name. And then, I don't understand Tamil, but I understood Dharma and Jnana, and I remember feeling so overwhelmed, my heart really overflowing, because she mentioned the word Dharma next to my name. I felt so blessed and important and loved and included. It was amazing.
Wow. So when you said, right, that there was an intention in you for so long that you wanted to become a Sarvajna Pitakarta, and that was what Devi exactly tested, and that's what she exactly blessed. And whatever intention you had, and for that, for you to experience the dharma, jnana, everything Devi had showered you. So how exactly did this receiving the answers from Devi Parashakti, how has it manifested your reality? How do you feel empowered in your life, having Swamiji in your life and having these extraordinary access to these extraordinary divine cosmic beings? How does it make you feel in your life, ma'am?
Well, I'm going through such intense completion at the moment to get rid of everything that's stopping me from manifesting this in a great way. Because if she said that, who am I to deny this reality that she wants to give me the best in the cosmos?
I'm sorry, ma. Again, I think your audio is a little bit you're sounding far off from the mic. Would you be able to be a little bit more closer and talk a little bit more louder?
Sure. Any better?
Yes, this is better.
So yeah, I'm going through intense completion about whatever is left that's stopping me from manifesting all the best that the universe wants to shower on me, and I feel a lot of opening with opportunities, and I feel inspired to take some action in terms of investing, and also little things like the other Sunday I went out the house to throw the rubbish in the bin, and I found 10 pounds in the driveway. And it's like, oh my God, it's like, it's showing me that like, I should not believe anything different than I deserve, and I'm loved.
Parashakti is beautifully attending to that part and that component that where you want to experience a breakthrough, and that is exactly where Paramashiva and Parashakti are directly attending to. So that was so beautiful. Is there anything else that you want to share, Mama? Consider Galata.
Well, there's so much that I could say happened, but one thing that really made me met Swamiji is last year when my dad passed.
I think your audio is it's not clear, it's going a lot in and out.
Really sorry about that. Maybe I should find a better location.
No issues, ma'am. You can see the technical glitch, and we request the NGV operator to kindly switch the screen. So
any better? Any better?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to mention what happened last year when I lost my dad. He unfortunately passed away in the hospital, and he lost consciousness the day before I arrived from the UK to Italy. And I remember they gave me permission to go and see him, and I put the Mahavakya on, and I gave the last rites to my dad. I put Nyaranjana on his third eye. My dad was not Hindu. Actually was a little bit concerned about my path. But Swamiji took me by hand, and I was able to accompany my dad to this part of the journey of his soul. And I saw Swamiji in my third eye. I reassured my dad that I was going to be fine because I had Swamiji in my life. And at that moment, he left the body, and I saw Swamiji in my third eye coming to pick him up. So that was the ultimate gift that I could have given to my dad, thanks to Swamiji, and I can't feel any more blessed than that.
Wow. And that's the best thing that you could have done as a daughter to your father also. That being to experience whatever that being needed. That's the best thing that you can do for another being in their life also. So that was a beautiful sharing. Thank you so much. And being from one thing, consider Galata, that I would like to share when I hear you sharing, when I heard your experience. It is so beautiful to see how from different parts of the globe, different countries, and nowhere, maybe living in a place like UK or somewhere that it is not so it's not really a sure path that you would get introduced to a guru in your life, you would have a guru in your life. It's not necessarily like that, but how the divine intervention happens in our life, living in different corners of the globe, somewhere scrolling in Facebook, you met Swamiji, and what a profound experience, a profound journey that you have had. So thank you so much for coming and sharing, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ma.
Nityananda.
Nityanandam. And just as all the viewers were here, be it her Akashic readings or be it even something even that, no one person. Now we have our next person to share. We have Ma Debbie Shula, and a different and she's going to share her journey, a different aspect of her experiences with Swamiji. Nityanandama, Debbie Shula.
Nityanandama.
I'm so happy to have you here, Ma.
So blessed to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. So appreciate it.
Yes, and I know how excited you were to come and share on Nityananda TV your experience and your journey. You were waiting to be a part of this as well. So happy to have you, Ma. And how long, could you just introduce yourself a little bit about where you're from, how long you've known Swamiji for?
Yes, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri in the United States. And I'm in the healthcare field. I'm a pharmacist, work at a hospital. And I have known Swamiji. Actually, I met him here in St. Louis. I can't remember the year, unfortunately. It was either 2006 or 2007. He was here, and I knew an acquaintance from the yoga studio I was going to, and she invited me to come to this free discourse that was happening from an enlightened being that was coming to St. Louis. Had no clue what any of that meant, but I went and was listening to him and thought he was funny. Some things that he was saying I could comprehend. Other things I'm going, boy, that went over my head. And I was like, boy, he's really young. He's nice looking. Anyway, I bought the Meditation for You kit before I left, but didn't do anything else with him for quite some time then after that. That was the only thing. I did read the books and I did do the meditations. In that kit was actually the Sri Yantra. So I've had that since that time. Actually, after I had gotten married, at that time I was still single. And then I finally decided to get back to my seeking and didn't get back into that until 2012 and found a meditation, a local meditation that was free, actually, that was offered by the Life Bliss Foundation here locally. So got back connected, started doing the meditations with them, and then went to my first IA in 2014 in Cambodia and have been connected ever since. So, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. So he found me, and I'm not letting go. Anyway, I have other stories to tell as well. Some things that, I look back and I'm going, oh my goodness. I'm like, he knew about me even before I even knew about him. Anyway, so, but that's probably not the topic we want to talk today. But it's just been beautiful.
Start talking about Swamiji, we cannot stop ourselves.
I know. Lots of stories to tell.
Yes.
So, and then went to quite a few programs. So I went to Cambodia, and then I went to the 10-day Shivoham program in Varanasi in October of 2015. Then I went to, in 2016, I actually went to 3 programs that year. That was my year. I went to Kumbh Mela in Ujjain. And then I went to Inner Awakening, because I hadn't been, of course, in September, October of 2016. Then I went to Sadashivoham in 2016 in December. And then I didn't go again until Mahasadashivoham in December 2017. Was only planning to stay for that program, but then ended up while I was there, found out that there was yoga teacher training right after. which started about like 2 days after the ending of that program, and ended up manifesting staying another 3 weeks and went through the yoga teacher training. So blessed to have gone through that. And then just doing all the online programs, did online Paramashivoham last year, season 1, and started volunteering, did the Ganas program, and still here. So in 2018, when it was going to be at the Ani now, but I did not go. I started to plan to go. I had put some money towards the program. That we need to start building the nation, right? The Kailasa nation. So he was mentioning that, if people want to give, go ahead and give, whether that be money, land, time, talent, energy, right? And 2 days before, either 24 hours or 48 hours before that, I was talking to my family, and I'm like, well, who wants to go to the program with me? Because I tried to get them to come to Mahasa Ashivoham. I didn't tell them what I was doing, but I paid for everyone to come, and I, got their visas. All we needed was plane tickets. And so I just kind of surprised them with this wonderful information. And they're like going, well, we're not going. Anyway, I'm like, okay, all right. Anyway, so then the next year in 2018, I was just like, I said it, 2 days before Swamiji mentioned this in the satsang. And I'm like, well, who's going to Paramashivoham with me? And they're like, we're not going, mommy, both my children and my husband. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, Swamiji, what do I do with this information? I'm like, what is the deal? I'm like, what needs to be completed, right? So then he had the satsang and said, offer your time, talent, and treasure. And I was just like, okay. I'm like, all right, this is how it's going to happen. I'm like, he said, he's bringing Kailasa to us, right? I'm like, well, that's how it's going to have to happen for my family. Kailasa is going to have to come here to the Schuler household. So I took the money that I had put down so far and transferred that to, actually, no, I'm sorry, I could not, because it was a different account. So, but I took what I had and I donated some money. And that's when my journey for SJP actually started. Did not realize.
Just for the viewers to know, when she's saying the SJP. SJP
Oh,
is Sarvajna Pita. Sarvajna Pita is that people contribute their talent and treasure towards building Kailasa.
See,
for
actually,
the happening of Kailasa.
Like when Paramashiva has come down, literally cosmos, for the whole Kailasa to happen, whether the time that is needed from people or the talent or the treasure, everything, the cosmos has sent down. So beautifully, Swamiji shares, like 7, I think, sorry, it came in the palm leaf reading, 7 crore beings have happened to support the avataric mission of the avatar. So each person have their own roles. Each of them, the Sarvajna Pitas, the Sarvajna Pita Ejamans, for the treasury of Kailasa to happen. And so beautifully, so happy, Ma, that even you got to be a part of that team. Just wanted to explain this to the viewers.
Go ahead,
Ma.
Thank you for explaining that, Ma. That was beautiful. So that's when my journey for, Sarvajna Pita Yejaman had actually started. And so I contributed some money, and then I decided to contribute some more, and I did about half first months to my husband. At that point in time, I had the honor of Ma Pranapriya holding my hand the whole way, and Ma, I should have done what you told me to do, and I should have done the whole amount all at once. I did not. So any advice to those of you who are doing Sarvajna Pita Yejaman, if you can do it all at once, do it all at once. That is my advice to you. So waited and waited and waited, trying to figure out a way to like tell my husband what I had offered to the organization, right? And then eventually, that was in December when all of that happened, and in December of 2018. And then I completed the rest of it in June of 2019. And then offered it Tulip Autumn that month. And then ever since then, I started to accrue some debt. Anyway, not a lot, but it just started and it just started creeping. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what is going on with what's going on in my life? I'm like, okay, there must be a reason for this. I'm not sure. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm just waiting. But, in order to receive, we have to be ready for it, right? So my time is coming. It's coming soon, a while, and this minor debt is going to be paid off, because it's really, in the scheme of things, it's minor compared to a lot of other things in life. It's just that I've never gone through something like this before. So it's my time to experience this. It's my journey. It's no one else's journey. It's my journey. Because it's kind of interesting. I see my husband and beautiful things happening for him. But of course, I can't sit there and tell him, that, Swamiji's blessing you. The cosmos and the universe is blessing you with to have in this life. And I know it's because, I know he's not connected, but because I'm connected and my children are connected to Swamiji, all of us get to partake in the blessings, and so does humanity. So it's not just our family. The more we give, the more that we can actually receive. So that opening is coming up, but I know it's coming soon. So
I wanted to tell you what Swamiji told. Actually, if you see, observe all the people who have been having wealth breakthroughs in their life. All the people, billionaires and millionaires today, if they all face of utter, where they are, real poverty, because that prepares us to have our inner space ready to receive. See, they need to go through certain insecurities, fears. They need to come over it. Only then your inner space will be ready for the huge wealth breakthrough. But fortunately for us, we don't need to experience suffering. Without that, he just gives the most minimal, what is only required, and prepares our entire inner space ready to receive that huge. Thank you so
Also,
much.
you also received the in this at Parashakti. You want to share a few as well, Ma?
Oh, yes. So, so I asked a question about all of this, because I was still trying to figure this out anyway. But now it has come to light anyway. And yes, up until this point, I was just more curious more than anything. I'm like, I asked for wealth consciousness, because I've been carrying some of this debt, right? And so Ma Devi Parashakti, she blessed me with the knowledge, enlightenment, and rightful living. And I can't remember, you guys Tamil, I can't remember all the interpretation. I'd have to read it again anyway. But but basically, no pain, no suffering. And throughout all of this, I've really not felt pain and suffering. More confusion or trying to figure it out. The logical, intellectual part of the brain, which just need to drop that and just go with it. But just holding on to Swamiji and just going along for the ride. So, but it's just been beautiful. So, that's why I just know that things are on the up and up. It has been and will continue to be.
Of course, Ma. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. Now, before we enter into the next sharing, let's take a short break.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for being here, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously.
If you start serving others, patterns and suffocations, because obsessive, compulsory, reactionary patterns are always centered on selfishness, arrogance, violence. If you start serving others, everything will become all right. All over the world, I want the Rathotsava to happen. From Guru Purnima to Navaratri. I want all Annalayas to be open to people. Give free food with the free library. Food for stomach and food for consciousness. Both. One book, my Bhagavad Gita, will be gift. Go from house to house, door to door. Collect whatever people can contribute. One handful of rice, $1, or any small 1 kg vegetable, anything people give. It's one of the best spiritual practice. Madhugari Bhiksha. If you guys start doing this, everything, all the best things will be showered on you guys. And Paramashiva more and more will manifest in temple also. If you start serving others, easily you will get out of many obsessive, compulsive, reactionary patterns and suffocations. Because obsessive, compulsory, reactionary patterns are always centered on selfishness, arrogance, violence. If you start serving others, everything will become all right. All over the, I want.
Yes, welcome back, dear viewers. And we next have Ma Anna Maria. We have Ma Anna Maria who's joining us. And we've been going through a lot of interesting and exciting sharing from people, different walks of life, different places. Just wanted to read some comments that people have posted. So many of you are responding in the comment section.
Actually, I want to share Sanjay Vekkaria's experience that he has posted. He says, I remember I first saw Swamiji on YouTube when I was searching for why we should be vegetarian. I wondered, who's the strange person? But I kept watching, and finally I could not stop. Lol. After that, I was completely in awe and full of love. So beautiful, Sanjay Vekaria. Yeah, that experience was so sweet. I think so many of us can relate to it. We never even realize when we fall in love with Swamiji, but we suddenly realize, oh my God, we're already in love with Swamiji and we could not stop loving Swamiji. It's just so beautiful, that experience that you shared here. Thank you so much for sharing. Actually, it would be wonderful if all the viewers, you can share about your journey with Swamiji, with your experiences. How are you feeling? How are you experiencing these Akashic readings that Devi Parashakti herself is doing?
And so many of you are excitedly listening to these sharings, having clips, posting your clips. That's beautiful. So we have more people who are coming to share, who are joining here to share with us their journey. So next we have Ma Anna Maria, Nityananda Ma, Anna Maria.
Okay, Nityananda Ma, can you hear me?
Yes, Nityananda Ma.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know where to start. I've been with Swamiji for a couple of years. And it's been quite a journey. I was in the spiritual field before meeting Swamiji for many years, and I wasn't really getting where I wanted to be. And I was still searching for something. I didn't know exactly what, but I had a difficult time when I found Swamiji, even though I was a spiritual person before. And I found that he had something that was very different from everything that I've ever known before, having been exposed to spirituality before, quite a lot. And I basically, I just have to say it's a big surprise when he answered my question in the readings for Parashakti. It was very unexpected. I was very surprised. I was also a bit scared because I didn't understand the language. I didn't know what he was saying. I was thinking, was that really me? It was really me. I was like, really? Wow, that's amazing. I couldn't believe it at first. So, and he mentioned something about knowledge, and because he knows, I remember Ma Atmadaya telling us when I was saying how much I want to talk to him, he said, but you can talk to him 24 hours every day. Why are you, what's your problem? Why are you upset that he's not talking directly? And I said, okay, I think you're right. I should be thinking like that, But when he addressed me directly, it was really, it was a bit overwhelming, I think, for me. In the beginning, I couldn't believe it, but now I feel like I really am heard. So he really is hearing me, and he's really there for me. Wow. And I think this is my most important shift after the reading. Because I knew he was hearing me, but now I'm sure. It's like that. I'm like, no more doubts. Yeah.
It is beautiful. So beautiful, Ma. Actually, that case, like literally, so many people are just waiting. Wow. Can you just comment once from Swamiji? Is Swamiji listening to me? And I'm talking to Swamiji's picture. Is Swamiji listening to me when I'm just talking to Swamiji? And today, your experience, what you shared, is really beautiful. Yes, Swamiji is listening to each and every one of us continuously being with each and every one of us.
So what do you enjoy the most about this Devi Parashakti's Akashic reading? Every day where Swamiji is sitting and attending to so many people, what do you enjoy the most about the Parashakti's Akashic reading?
To be like, I enjoy to see how happy he is, how happy she is. It's like that kind of, it puts me in the same space. Like, even if maybe I'm tired or maybe I don't feel very well, in that his eyes and how happy, how much joy is there. It's like, okay, that's interesting. So no matter, it's like it's given me the idea that no matter what life brings, there's still goodness in the world. There's still happiness, and he's there to prove it and to make sure that we get it, that he's there.
Powerful cognition to need it for this time, especially, Ma, because as very beautifully said, yes, so many tough times can happen, so many ups and downs can happen in life, but yes, with us, for us, and to bring us that real happiness. And true, despite of so many things happening, continuously facing it and still coming, what a compassion, right? Coming and being so blissful and making us all blissful, making us all experience that space.
Yeah, I kind of try to imagine what kind of state he's in, and I try to mirror the neurons as we have been instructed to do, so we can get the benefit of that space. And well, of course, it's still a journey. I still don't really understand, of course, but it's helping to, I don't know, put me in that space. And sometimes even when I go to bed that night after the darshan, I just feel I have so much energy. Like yesterday, for example, I couldn't sleep. I was too full of energy. I had too much and I didn't know what to do with it. And I was just happy without any reason. And I knew that was because of that. I'm not like that. In the evening, usually I'm feeling pretty sad, pretty low, tired. But after this, I felt energized and couldn't just, I don't know what to do with so much energy. So that was really something for me. Yeah. And I just want to share that he said something about knowledge. So nobody could know that possibly, because I still am a very intellectual person. I read a lot. And he said something, I will give you the real knowledge. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Nobody could know that thought in my mind. Nobody.
Wow.
You know. So I'm sharing now because I feel like I have to express this gratitude towards him and Sangha, and because it's exactly what I wanted when I found him. I wanted something real. I felt that the knowledge I was given wasn't something was missing, or so I'm still learning, I'm still studying, I'm still practicing, but I feel like this is the way which he says is real. So I'm just I'm on the right way, so to speak. Yeah.
You know what you're sharing beautifully shows, and Swamiji says, right, even before you know you, I know you. Even before you choose me, I choose you. It is only because I choose you, you can even choose me. Only because I decide to see you, I decide to happen in your life, you decide you upon me. It is so beautiful when you share what was in your innermost being, what was a need that you were feeling without you verbalizing it. Swamiji just knew, and Swamiji just happened to it. That was so beautiful, Ma. Sharing a lot. So, is there anything else that you want to share, Ma?
I don't know. I think if for now I think I don't want to, I could talk a lot, like for hours. I'm the kind of person that can talk and talk forever. And he said something like, I will give you the knowledge that is beyond discussion. That's exactly what I need to stop doing. I'm talking too much, even in my head or with other people. I'm too philosophical. And he was like, he knew what I was doing wrong. I think I'm not doing, I mean, he says the mind is an illusion. So I have too much mind. I have to stop that and focus on the consciousness, not on the mind. So like that. Yeah. And for me, the space that I need to achieve more is to be more and more unclutched, because I've been studying a lot. I did a lot of academic studying, and that kind of cluttered my mind a lot. So I cannot really have that unclutched space so easily, because I think too much. So that's exactly what he had to.
The right time. All you need to do is just enjoy watching Swamiji, as Parashakti, he does the rest for you.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much
Thank
for coming
you,
and
ma'am.
sharing. This is a
And
very beautiful sharing.
Nityananda.
yes,
Thank you,
thank
ma'am.
you, Ma
Nityananda.
Nityananda. And now we
Nityananda.
have more and more people join. Now we saw